What's up, my beautiful people? This is your boy Stefan, your Afro-Grenadian ambassador. I welcome you all back to my channel. To all my subscribers, viewers, channel members, I appreciate you all. I want to give a big shout out to my dear friend Nola. Thank you very much out there in the Netherlands. Thank you very much for being a good friend and checking up on me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Well, in today's video, my friends, this is the follow-up of the previous video I did about Trinidad signing the agreement with the United States. Many of you have been waiting for a very long time for this video. All right, so guys, I want to say this, that I have said it before, I have no intention of spreading false information. When information is put out there and it is not accurate, I will be the one to come back and correct it. The reason why I have took so long is because I had a bad allergic reaction, and it was not conducive for me to be on camera. Well, in this video, the Prime Minister of Trinidad, Dr. Rowley, have rebutted the claims. He had denied claims that this signing of agreement have anything to do with Venezuela and the United States setting up naval bases in Trinidad and Tobago. But before we get into today's video, I want to say this, my dear friends. Pan-Africanism is something I did not choose. Pan-Africanism chose me, and I have happily answered that call, and I am willing to pay the price. Now, the reason why I say this is because there are some who comes on this channel as surrogates. They come as haters, destiny blockers, to hinder the mission of this channel. But I want you to know, I will not be intimidated, because the power I deal with is greater than any power that you are dealing with. I deal with the power of God, and I have answered the call of Pan-Africanism, and I will remain focused, and I will not allow anyone to deteriorate, to distract me, and sidetrack me from the mission of this channel. Some of you are opposers of the truth, because you cannot do what I am doing. Some of you are cowards. You are cowards, and you are afraid to speak up. But now we have young people who are speaking up where Pan-Africanism is concerned. Leave us alone. Let us accomplish the work that is appointed for us to do. Well, guys, without no further delay, enough of the talking, let's get right into the video, where we will be listening to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago in regards to the signing of agreement, and when we come back, we will talk all about it.
This picture has nothing to do with any Venezuelan issue. This has everything to do with the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and the United States, which is a very good one. And of course, the conversations that we've had, if you listen, and in fact, the very paper that carries the story carries the details of what was said by Admiral Halsey about the issues that brought him here and the issues that were discussed, and the commitment to cooperate with Trinidad and Tobago on matters, not the least of which is national security. That's what it's about. The local press cannot pretend not to know that our security agencies rely very heavily on the cooperation that they have with the United States. Many instances, the actions that we take here, or actions that are taken in our interest outside our border in the region, has to do with information or physical assets of foreign countries, not the least of which is the United States, helping us to protect ourselves, because we don't have the ability to have as many assets out there, or to have the intelligence as to who is going to harm us. And you read in the story what Admiral Halsey has said, as far as to talk about criminal elements coming from South America and threatening us now. I mentioned that from this podium recently. You would have seen during the COVID period, when the rest of the nation didn't have vaccines, among the first vaccines we got were some that came from a United States military agency to our defense force. because of the relationship between them. In the last few years, the United States has put over $9 million in grants into the security services of Trinidad and Tobago. We have an ongoing relationship of training and sharing of information with the United States. And none of this is secret. None of it is secret. It's all about the relationship between two friendly countries, one with a lot of resources and one that needs the help. So where did you get it from that we are in a position to make Trinidad and Tobago available to the United States for troops against Venezuela? It's a serious matter. If a country is making its territory available for another country to stage military action against them, that is a serious matter. And if I don't come here today and as Prime Minister denounce this irresponsibility, if you were in Venezuela, what would you think? What would you think? And if you are in Venezuela where Trinidad and Tobago are negotiating with you on all kinds of important matters, but making its territory available for American incursions in the event that it is determined that Venezuela has instability, what would you think? I know that there are people in this country, surprisingly to some of you, who would like our initiatives to bear no fruit and to come to naught, but this is going too far. This is going too far. We have 3 major national newspapers in this country. Admiral Halsey's visit was well known and well covered by our media and the American media. How come the other 2 newspapers didn't have this in their story? How come the other 2 papers didn't have this if that was the outcome and that was the position? Why this newspaper? Where you find this from? Where did this come from? When in fact, the discussions that we had, as you were told, as the story does say, cooperation. Many of you know or should know the 2 patrol aircraft that we have patrolling our airspace, marine space, are aircraft given to us by the United States, the C-26s. They have pretty much come to the end of their useful life. We are paying a huge amount of money now to maintain them because the older they get, the more expensive they are to maintain. We have been trying to replace them by seeking assistance from the United States to replace them. It appears as though now that is not going to be forthcoming because of US government policy. We are now in the marketplace as I speak to you now. If your memory serves you right, you would have seen me go to Washington, and followed by that, you would have seen the head of the American Exim Bank in Trinidad and Tobago and made public in Trinidad and Tobago that $500 million is available to Trinidad and Tobago to meet its needs on matters of national security and other things. Among that is to obtain replacement aircraft for those C-26s that are at the end of their useful life. That's what's going on right now. That's the kind of relationship we have. Admiral Halsey, a few days ago, became the head of Southcom. The very first country he visited, within days of becoming head of Southcom, he visited Trinidad and Tobago. Again, that is because of the closeness of our relationship at the decision-making level and our security officers and our security agencies with American agencies. You would have printed in your own newspapers the close relationship between our defense force and the state of Delaware. As a matter of fact, a member of the delegation who is here with Admiral Halsey is the senior officer from the state of Delaware, visiting Trinidad and Tobago. Many of our officers participate in training and the use of other valuable instruments, equipment, and intelligence from Delaware and elsewhere. So none of that has anything to do with any potential for the placement of United States troops in Trinidad and Tobago with a view to dealing with any issue in Venezuela.
Okay, so guys, so now sometimes you have to give people the benefit of a doubt, right? The Prime Minister saying that this signing of agreement has nothing to do with the situation that is going on in Venezuela or putting US base in the island of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, what got the Prime Minister a bit upset, and that resulted in him doing a press conference, because soon after the signing of agreement on that day, the Prime Minister gave a press conference to correct some misinformation, what the government calls misinformation. There was this local newspaper in Trinidad that put out a headline that says, US can put troops in Trinidad and Tobago government, signs agreement as White House ups pressure on Maduro. So the Prime Minister was very upset about that. The Prime Minister was saying that this was a headline that was irresponsible by this local newspaper without having any evidence or facts of what they are doing. Now, the media lashed back, or the media pressured the Prime Minister on a few questions about the agreement. Take a listen.
McGuiney from Trinidad Newsday.
I don't mind you smiling, not
not just the irony of it, but
this is not a laughing matter.
I know. Just to set the record straight, our reporter did reach out to Minister Hines and Minister Brown. Neither of them chose to respond.
And which one of them told your reporter that?
Well, our understanding is that the SOFA agreement has several clauses, which include one that says the U.S. can launch military personnel and machinery to countries in conflict from signatories to the agreement. Guyana is also a signatory.
Stick a pin. Is that where interpretation comes from?
The SOFA agreement.
Countries in conflict. What conflict is Trinidad and Tobago involved in, or likely to be involved in?
Two countries in conflict from signatories. So anybody who has signed up to it, for example, Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana, the United States can use either country as a launching pad, I guess. For that.
So in short, we are US based.
But does the agreement?
No, in short, your interpretation of that is that we are US based.
No.
So if two countries have conflict, the US can do that. Yeah. Sovereign Trinidad and Tobago will stand aside, and the US will just do that because we've signed an agreement where if two countries are in conflict, and I gather you will tell me we're not in conflict. I don't know of any conflict that we are involved in. Right? Your interpretation there, and what you're trying to say is that because you didn't speak to Mr. Hines, or because I didn't talk to your reporter, that makes this headline justifiable. Where is the evidence to support that? And why is it that this headline now runs counter to everything I've just said of our years of foreign policy and diplomacy when conflict was around us?
So I'd just like to clarify though, is that the SOFA agreement does not say what we understand that it says? That
it is not for me, for you to misunderstand anything. But if what I say is how you understand it, it is what the fact is.
So it doesn't say that
you have published here the US can put troops in Trinidad and Tobago.
So the agreement does not say that the US can launch military personnel.
I am not engaging in any tutorial with you.
So that was quite interesting. You know, the media was saying, look, we are not to be blamed for this headline because we reached out to the relevant authorities to get accurate information, but nobody replied. Nobody replied. And based on what this agreement entails, it is what it is. That is what everybody is interpreting it to be. So the media says that it is not us to be blamed. We reached out to relevant authorities, including Mr. Halsey, and nobody replied. So we will, the media will not wait for 60 days or 10 days or 20 days, or the government have a time frame or when they respond to people. They will not just wait and sit for a response. But the Prime Minister of Trinidad is saying that does not give you right to go spreading misinformation that two countries are in Trinidad is in conflict. But the media is saying is that the agreement is not about Trinidad being in conflict, but two countries being in conflict, which is, the Venezuela and the United States don't have a very good relationship, and that Trinidad is a signatory, in resolving that conflict, where US can set up bases to to take care of the Maduro regime and situation there. And that is what it seems like. That is what it looks like. You know, but the Prime Minister is saying that is not the case. Now, when the media pressed him a bit more, then okay, if that's not the case, if that's not what the agreement entails, what is the case? What this agreement says? But the Prime Minister, as we see, says he's not in a tutorial with them, which I think he dodged the question a little bit there. He didn't really answer the question. So, guys, I want to say this, brothers and sisters. Now, I'm going to say this before I close up. I am not here to refute anything what the Prime Minister is saying. I mean, they are the ones that in authority, they don't know what is going on. But we have to be very careful. I think as Caribbean leaders, we have to be very careful of what we are doing, and especially when it comes to the United States of America. We have to be very careful that we do not do anything that will destabilize the Caribbean region that is known to be a peaceful region. And, much of these politicians always like to say it's not the fact. But how do we know it's the fact? Because, we know that there's a lot of politicians are known for hiding the facts. If the facts are hidden, how would we know it is the fact? So that is something, I want to be clear on. And also, for those of you who are saying, oh, stay out of Trinidad business, stay out of this business. Now, I have news for you. Whatever decision that any leader in the Caribbean takes, is our business. Because it will affect us as Caribbean people, whether it's in a good way or in a bad way. So whatever decision that Trinidad takes, it is St. Vincent's business, it is St. Lucia business, it is Guyana's business, it is everybody's business, because we are one body of people. So don't come with me with this thing and telling me, some of you I've seen in the comment section, stay out of Trinidad's business. That is utter rubbish and nonsense. Even if today Grenada makes a decision, it is Trinidad's business, because we are one people. Yeah. So guys, let me know what are your thoughts in the comment section below about this whole matter. Now, I have to say that we have to be very careful of what we are getting ourselves involved in, and especially with the United States, because Maduro have sent a warning to the Caribbean body about this decision, this signing of agreement, to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and the Caribbean body. I'm going to do a video about this. So guys, stay tuned. You will hear more about it. Until for now, God bless you. Take care.